Dean Martin, a member of the Rat Pack, has left an indelible mark in Hollywood's golden age. He is renowned for his memorable role alongside John Wayne in the film Rio Bravo and his collaborations with comedian Jerry Lewis. Considering his multiple marriages and reputation as a ladies' man, his personal life was just as entertaining as his performances. Despite his remarkable achievements, Dean Martin faced numerous challenges, tumultuous relationships, and life-altering hardships on his path to success. Today, we delve into the captivating life of this iconic legend. Let us know which other legendary figure you'd like us to explore next. Martin, whose birth name was Dino Paul Crosetti, was born on June 7, 1917, in Steubenville, Ohio. His father, Gaetano Alfonso Crosetti, was from Montesilvano, Pescara, and his mother, Angela Crosetti, was of Italian-American descent and was born in Fernwood, Ohio on December 18, 1897. Growing up, Martin's first language was Italian, and he didn't start speaking English until he began school at the age of 5. Unfortunately, he faced bullying at Grant Elementary School in Steubenville due to his broken English. During his teenage years, Martin developed a passion for playing the drums. However, he dropped out of Steubenville High School in the 10th grade because he believed he was smarter than his teachers. Martin then pursued various jobs, including bootlegging liquor, working in a steel mill, and serving as a croupier and blackjack dealer. He even tried his hand at boxing and adopted the name Kid Crochet at the age of 15. Although he faced numerous injuries and losses in the ring, he claimed to have won all but one of his 12 bouts. At one point, Martin shared a small apartment in New York City with Sonny King, another aspiring entertainer who was also struggling financially. To make ends meet, they charged people to watch them engage in bare-knuckle boxing matches. Martin proved his skills by knocking out King in the first round of an amateur match. Eventually, Martin left boxing behind and found work as a roulette stickman and croupier in an illegal casino located behind a tobacco shop. Simultaneously, he pursued his passion for singing and performed with local bands under the name Dino Martini, inspired by the renowned tenor Nino Martini from the Metropolitan Opera. Martin's singing style was influenced by Harry Mills of the Mills Brothers and Perry Como. In the late 1940s, he commenced his singing career under the guidance of Cleveland bandleader Sammy Watkins. Recognizing his potential, Watkins proposed that he adopt the name Dean Martin. Martin remained a part of Watkins' band until at least May 1943. By the autumn of 1943, he had already established himself as a performer in New York. Despite his growing success, Martin's military service called upon him during World War II. However, due to a hernia, he received a discharge after serving for 14 months. The singer's first marriage can be attributed to his early years in show business. Back when he was still on the rise, he crossed paths with fellow performer Elizabeth Ann MacDonald, Betty MacDonald, and love blossomed between them. They tied the knot in 1941, just as Dean Martin's star was beginning to shine. However, as his career took off, he found himself spending more and more time away from home due to the demands of his newfound fame, especially with his female fans. Despite the challenges they faced, Martin and MacDonald managed to weather the storm for over 2 decades and even had 4 children together. Unfortunately, the strain of their circumstances eventually took its toll, leading to their divorce in 1949. Martin had a chance encounter with Jerry Lewis at the Glass Hat Club in New York, where they both performed. They became fast friends and decided to form a music comedy team. Their debut show together was not well received, leading the club owner to warn them about their second show. Determined to succeed, they improvised their act, incorporating songs, skits, and ad-lib material. The audience loved their slapstick humor and vaudeville jokes. This success led to a series of well-paying engagements on the East Coast, including a run at the famous Copacabana in New York. Their act consisted of Lewis interrupting and heckling Martin while he sang, with the two playfully chasing each other around the stage. They focused on entertaining each other rather than the audience. They made their television debut on The Ed Sullivan Show, with the assistance of comedy writers Norman Lear and Ed Simmons. In 1949, they signed with Paramount producer Hal B. Wallace and began a successful radio series. Martin and Lewis had a unique deal that allowed them to co-produce one film per year outside of their contract. They also had control over their club, record, radio, and television appearances. Their partnership earned them millions of dollars. Despite their successful partnership, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis had a tumultuous relationship behind the scenes. Their split in 1956 was the culmination of years of tension and disagreements. Martin, known for his laid-back charm and smooth singing voice, clashed with Lewis, whose manic energy and comedic genius often overshadowed his partner. Lewis, who was also the more business-minded of the two, felt that Martin was not pulling his weight in terms of creative input and promotion. On the other hand, Martin felt that Lewis was too controlling and demanding, leading to frequent arguments and power struggles. Their final movie together, Hollywood or Bust, was marred by on-set conflicts and personal animosity. The breaking point came when Lewis demanded a larger share of the profits and more creative control, which Martin refused to concede. The two stars went their separate ways, with Martin finding success as a solo artist in film and music, while Lewis continued to make waves in the comedy world. Despite their estrangement, their fans held out hope for a reconciliation, which finally came in 1976 when they buried the hatchet and reunited for a charity event. The reunion was a bittersweet moment for fans who had missed their dynamic duo, but it also served as a reminder of the complex and often volatile nature of show business partnerships. Dean Martin didn't let his 20-year marriage stop him from finding love again. After divorcing, he quickly fell into a whirlwind romance with Jean Bieger. They tied the knot in 1949 and had 3 children together. However, the honeymoon phase didn't last long, and issues arose due to his excessive drinking and womanizing habits. Unfortunately, the strain in his marriage was compounded by professional challenges. His partnership with Jerry Lewis, the other half of the famous duo Martin and Lewis, was falling apart. As his personal and professional life crumbled, it began to take a toll on his mental well-being. It came as no surprise when they separated in 1969 and finalized their divorce in 1973. Martin's first solo film, 10,000 Bedrooms, 1957, was a box office disappointment. Although his song Voila was popular, the era of the pop crooner was declining due to the rise of rock and roll. Martin desired to transition into a dramatic actor. He was offered a small salary to co-star with Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift in the war drama The Young Lions, 1958. However, talent agency MCA saw potential in Martin's versatility in nightclubs, films, and records, so they replaced Tony Randall with Martin, leading to the beginning of his comeback. He starred alongside Frank Sinatra for the first time in Some Came Running, 1958. By the mid-1960s, Martin was a multi-talented star in movies, music, television, and nightclubs. His notable roles include Dude in Rio Bravo, 1959, and his collaboration with John Wayne in The Sons of Katie Elder, 1965. He also ventured into musical comedies and won a Golden Globe nomination for his performance in Who Was That Lady? 1960, Martin continued to pursue dramatic roles in films like Ada, 1961, and Toys in the Attic, 1963. He frequently teamed up with Sinatra in movies like Ocean's 11, Robin and the Seven Hoods, and Marriage on the Rocks. Martin also appeared in films alongside Shirley MacLaine. As a singer, Martin developed his own style and recorded numerous albums and songs. His signature tune, Everybody Loves Somebody, topped the charts, and he enjoyed success with tracks like The Door Is Still Open to My Heart. Elvis Presley was a fan of Martin and emulated his style in his own performances. Martin later embraced country music, hosting country performers on his TV show and receiving recognition from the Country Music Association. Martin became synonymous with the image of a Vegas entertainer in a tuxedo. He enjoyed a successful career in Las Vegas for 3 decades, showcasing his singing and comedic skills. Martin closely connected with his family and spent quality time with them. Despite his playboy image, Martin prioritized his family, regularly joining them for dinner. As Martin's solo career blossomed, he formed a close friendship with Frank Sinatra. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, Martin, Sinatra, Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, and Sammy Davis Jr. came together to create the Rat Pack. This group, also known as the Summit or the Clan, was inspired by the earlier Holmby Hills Rat Pack, which included Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and of which Sinatra had been a member. Although they never officially called themselves the Rat Pack, that name has stuck in popular culture. The Rat Pack not only made films together but also became a prominent part of the Hollywood social scene. They were influential in politics as well, thanks to Lawford's marriage to Patricia Kennedy, sister of President John F. Kennedy. However, it was their legendary performances on the Las Vegas Strip that truly made them iconic. The marquee at the Sands Hotel would often feature names like Dean Martin, maybe Frank, maybe Sammy, attracting wealthy gamblers to the city. Their performances were a mix of individual numbers, duets, and trios, all delivered in their signature tuxedos. Alongside their musical acts, they incorporated improvised slapstick and banter, creating a unique and entertaining experience. In the socially charged 1960s, their jokes often touched on adult themes, including Sinatra's reputation with women, Martin's love for alcohol, and Davis's experiences as a black man in America. It's worth noting that both Sinatra and Martin were supporters of the civil rights movement and refused to perform in venues that discriminated against black or Jewish performers. Even after their passing, the Rat Pack has enjoyed a resurgence in popularity, inspiring films like the Ocean's trilogy starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Their legacy as entertainers and cultural icons continues to captivate audiences to this day. Dean Martin, the king of cool, known for his entertaining personality and love for alcohol, was a master at connecting with his audience. His jokes about his love life and drinking habits made people feel a direct connection to him. However, it is important to remember that his onstage persona was just an act. In reality, Dean Martin was not a heavy drinker, as claimed by those who worked closely with him. However, it is important to remember that his onstage persona was just an act. In reality, Dean Martin was not a heavy drinker, as claimed by those who worked closely with him. On stage, Dean Martin never actually drank alcohol. Instead, he poured apple juice into a Scotch bottle to create the illusion. This deception was all part of his commitment to entertaining his fans. It may even be one of the reasons why he lived a long and healthy life. During the 1950s, when Dean Martin's career was at its peak, having a reputation as a heavy drinker was seen as appealing to a wider audience. This may have been a strategic move to connect with his fans and make himself more memorable. While there is no definitive answer as to why he pretended to be a hardcore drinker, it is not uncommon for artists in the music industry to alter their image for similar reasons. In conclusion, Dean Martin's persona as a drinker was a facade designed to entertain and connect with his fans. In reality, he was not the heavy drinker he appeared to be on stage. In 1965, Dean Martin launched his weekly NBC series, The Dean Martin Show, which ran for 264 episodes until 1974. He won a Golden Globe Award for his performance and continued to be nominated for the following 3 years. The show portrayed Martin as a carefree drinker, and he used his laid-back persona of a half-drunk crooner to entertain the audience. He made snappy and sometimes slurred remarks about fellow celebrities during his roasts, which added to his appeal. Despite his reputation, Martin's alcohol use was disciplined and he often preferred spending time at home with his family. He starred in Matt Helm's super spy comedy adventures and westerns during this time. The Dean Martin Show remained popular throughout the early 1970s, while his record albums continued to sell. Martin also ventured into the world of golf by offering a signature line of golf balls and hosting the Dean Martin Tucson Open. Towards the end of his career, his variety show was transformed into celebrity roasts. Even after its cancellation, the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast continued as a series of TV specials until 1984. Martin's financial success allowed him to reduce his schedule and enjoy more leisure time. Martin had a prolific recording career with Reprise Records, releasing 4 albums a year for almost a decade. His final Reprise album, Once in a While, was recorded in 1974 but not released until 1978. He then moved to Warner Brothers Records and released the Nashville Sessions in 1983, which included a hit single recorded with Conway Twitty. In 1985, he released another single called LA Is My Home / Drinking Champagne. In 1972, Martin filed for divorce from his second wife and ended his business partnership with the Riviera Hotel in less than a month after his second marriage ended. Martin, 55, tied the knot with 26-year-old Catherine Horn on April 25, 1973. Horn used to work as a receptionist at the trendy Jean Shokov hair salon in Beverly Hills. They split on November 10, 1976. Martin was briefly engaged to Gail Renshaw, Miss World, United States 1969. Eventually, Martin and Jean reconciled, although they never got married again. Martin and Horn didn't have any biological children together, but Martin adopted Horn's daughter, Sasha. Following their divorce, Martin had a short-lived romance with model and longtime friend Patricia Sheehan. He joined the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, where he performed on the opening night in 1973 and starred in the film Mr. Rico for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios. Martin reconciled with his former partner Jerry Lewis during a telethon in 1976, resulting in a standing ovation and a profitable year for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They remained friends and performed together once more in 1989 on Martin's 72nd birthday. In the later years, Martin appeared in films like The Cannonball Run and its sequel. He also had a hit single with Since I Met You Baby and made a music video directed by his son. However, tragedy struck when his son Dean Paul Martin died in a plane crash in 1987, leaving Martin devastated. Despite a tour with Davis and Sinatra in 1988, Martin struggled with depression and alcoholism. He preferred performing in intimate clubs rather than large stadiums. His final Vegas shows were at Bally's Hotel in 1991, where he had a reunion with Lewis. Martin made his last TV appearances in tributes to his Rat Pack members Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra. Martin, a lifelong heavy smoker, received a lung cancer diagnosis at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in September 1993. Despite being advised to undergo surgery to extend his life, he declined the option. Friends and family were taken aback by his choice, as they knew the surgery could have prolonged his life and improved his quality of living. Martin, however, maintained that he preferred to face his health challenges without invasive medical interventions. He withdrew from the public eye in early 1995 and passed away from acute respiratory failure due to emphysema at his Beverly Hills residence on Christmas Day, 1995, at the age of 78. The lights of the Las Vegas Strip were dimmed in his memory. Martin was laid to rest at the Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. His crypt bears the inscription "Everybody loves somebody sometime," the opening line of his iconic song. In 1997, the city of Steubenville, Ohio decided to pay tribute to the legendary entertainer Dean Martin by renaming Ohio Route 7 as Dean Martin Boulevard. The road is adorned with signs featuring a caricature of Martin by Ul Hirschfeld, a historical marker, and a brief biography in Gazebo Park. Steubenville hosts an annual Dean Martin Festival that draws impersonators, friends, family, and entertainers, many of whom are of Italian descent. Other locations have also honored Martin, such as Clark County, Nevada renaming a portion of Industrial Road to Dean Martin Drive in 2005, and Rancho Mirage, California dedicating a street to him in 2008. Martin's family was recognized with a gold record for his album Dino. The Essential Dean Martin in 2004, which achieved platinum status in 2006. His duet with Martina McBride, Baby, It's Cold Outside, reached impressive positions on music charts. Posthumously, Martin received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2009 and has stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Italian Walk of Fame in Toronto. Furthermore, his father's hometown of Montesilvano honored him by dedicating a square and a Congress Center in his name. Dean Martin will be remembered for his incomparable charisma, smooth voice, and effortless charm that captivated audiences worldwide. He will be celebrated for his legendary performances in music, film, and television, as well as his enduring influence on the entertainment industry. Thank you for watching.